this thing says I'm live, I'm late for a very important date. Who knows what that's from? Uh, so Joe sees in there. Joe fix it for you. Howdy, Melinda. Howdy, Emmett.
Yeah, Josie, Mama Linda is sick, very sick.
Yeah,
Please keep her in your prayers.
like I said last night in her live, if she ain't on the pot, she's in bed sleeping. It's taking a lot out of her.
It will. It will wear you out.
It's worn the lean out. Teresa J.
Hey, Teresa.
So anyway, here we are. I just spent a little time with Mama Bear in her live. She had some issues. Josie was her first accidental timeout victim. I just told her that's part of the pains of learning alive. I don't worry about it. If it needs to happen, Elaine take care of it. I don't really know much about it.
You get timed out here, it's because you deserve it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, somehow she accidentally hit the timeout on you. She don't know how she did it. That's just part of learning how to do it live. You got, it's like getting in a new car. You got to mess with all the buttons to find out what does what. And unfortunately, but at the same time, be proud, Josie. You were her first victim, albeit accidental. That'll be something you can always tease her about from here on out. Well, turn the volume up. Like the first time I appeared on Mike's fishing home as Piggy's Pedals. See, he knew me as my actual name before I got into doing any of this. And I'd went into his life. I thought, well, this would be a perfect time to debut Piggy's Pedals. Now, bear in mind, he had just dealt with a troll that was trying to tell him how to run his live. That don't go very well with Mike. It's great when it works, Mama Bear. When it works. But anyway, he had just dealt with a troll who tried to tell him how to run his life. And then I popped in there and said, howdy. Well, that looks like a troll name right there for sure. Timed me out. Wayne had to tell him it was me. He's like, huh? Man, I'm sorry. I told him, I said, no. I said, I got exactly what I expected. I said, especially after you just have to deal with what you dealt with. I found it hilarious. So anyway, what's everybody up to? I'm up to about 5'4", and yes, they do stack it that high. Some of y'all might know what that means. Da, 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 da. Poor Mama Bear. You're gonna have to start spending some time figuring out how those things work, hon. I ain't got to worry about it, at least not right now. I got Elaine tells me. And I'm the one with an associate's degree in computer engineering and electronics. But I taught her what pretty much all I know about the basics, and she took it from there. But I was never good at the programs. I was pretty good at the guts of a computer, what's going on in there, doing the math. And I'm going to tell you what, they got some math that'll blow your brain right out your head. Sappy.
Hey, Sappy.
Oh, you had YouTube muted. Okay. But the programming, I didn't know that much about programs, how they work or interact. I learned some basics on that. Well, now, Joe, that don't apply to just women. There's some blonde men out there that need help too. And it might surprise you to figure out a lot of those blonde women, they ain't dumb. They're using the cliche against you. Because if you think they're stupid, they're gonna see that you think they're stupid, and they're gonna mess you up because you ain't gonna see them coming. It's kind of like seeing that little ratty looking car out there. You don't think it's anything. You want to take it on, and you find out it's got something underneath that hood you just wish you had not tangled with. So am I, Melinda. What there is of it. I don't know. I think Mama Bear is more brown headed than she is blonde. It was for a time for me, Josie. But then everybody around me would rather listen to folks that just picked up a little something here and a little something there off YouTube rather than take advice from somebody with a degree. So I chunked it all and said, screw it. I've even had to do that with Elaine. She want me to help her, and I go over there and try to help her. She wouldn't get out the way. I finally said, screw it. I started sitting here letting her deal with it. You figure it out. Don't do me any good to try to come help you when you don't let me get in there and help. So, what's the use retaining all that knowledge if you couldn't use it nohow? Oh, you a dye job, huh? All right. Well, the difference there is, Mama Bear, you let him help you. People ask me for help, and then they'd get in my way and block me out to where I couldn't help. Right? You can have it. Then they want to ask me, and I said, I tried to help. You knocked me out the way. You can figure it out. Yeah. You ask for help, and then you ain't willing to let people help. Don't wonder why they back off. Because your word said you wanted to help, but your actions showed you didn't. Takes time, Mama Bear. Just have to work with it. Like I said a while ago about getting a new car, you got to get in there and push all the different buttons to see what everything does. Figure out where your wipers are, where your brights are, and how to turn your interior light up and down, and how exactly the radio's set up. Most importantly, making sure you know which pedal is which, gas or brake. Unless you get a straight shift, and you better hope you know what you're doing. Lane knows I know what I'm doing with a stick shift. I had a friend who had a Mustang Saline. Oh, powerful engine. I was taking it back to his house one day. He was wanting me to do a little something with it, and I did. And he had ticked me off, so I got my little pound of flesh out of it. I turned onto a main road after coming down from here. And when I got lined up in that road, I hit it. I hit it hard. I had that thing going sideways up that hill, up that road, just a smoking them. I probably went a good 1/16 of a mile sideways up that hill. I could make them go boom too, Avid. I just stuff up everything that brings air into where the CPU is, and then max it out on functions. And it won't take long. That CPU will go boom. Well, you might want to find out, Mama Bear. It can make a difference. I'll bet that was fun, Melinda. I don't like kilometers. I know miles per hour. Josie, I doubt that with the way you was able to peg that wheel bearing gone bad on my car. Just by listening to it over a video. But no, Evan, it ain't hard to make a computer go boom. Not hard at all. You clog up all the air going into it to cool down that CPU, and you max out all the functions on it and everything, and keep hitting enter over and over and over and over and over again. Overload the processes. That CPU will heat up. It will destroy your computer. Man, it looked like an engine block blown coming up out the hood of a car. Them things can produce some serious heat. And the more powerful the CPU, the bigger the boom. So what else is going on with everybody? Y'all tell me something. Talk to me. I mean, there's plenty I could talk about, but I don't like going there on my account. Oh, it's a lot of good stuff too, but I don't like going there on my account. So y'all tell me something. Tell me something good. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Buicks have been known for being pretty nice cars. Glad you picked up on that, Melinda. I was wondering who would. Oh, I know you will, Mama Bear. I was actually having a good time with that with you. Let's just say it's a lot of good things going on. Some people don't like it, but you know what? I like what's good for America. What's going on is good for America. And yeah. Oh, you got one of those, huh? Okay. Yeah, they've more been done in 4 days than in decades of the other kind. Well, that's the trouble, Mama Bear. There's a lot of people who don't know the truth. And so they see facts as arbitrary opinions rather than the facts that they are because they have believed the lie. And people who have believed the lie tend not to comprehend truth. Oh, see there. Cool. What's your handle? Well, Mama Bear, it's because they can't comprehend the truth. They have believed the lie and bought into it so hard they can't comprehend truth. And it's because they look at things through the lens of hate because that's what they've had instilled in them by organizations that I personally think should be shut down. All right, Teresa J. Because all they do is spread lies. So I've seen them be right in front of physical facts and still deny the truth of those facts. That's called a reprobate mind. They can't, God has cut them off from being able to know the truth because they have chosen the lie. Well, Joe, see, that's because you're supposed to be in his live, not the CB. Yeah, there is a difference in signal frequencies and whatnot there. Unless you talk about trying to reach him on his CB, phone cross. I don't remember the name of it either. Hadn't watched it, but I do know that scene. Phone cross. And that's part of it too. People can't handle the truth because they don't. Not only do they not want to believe that people can be that evil, they can't grasp the concept that there is evil like that in play. They think, you know, our nation has been pampered for so long with a mostly civil society. That they can't grasp the fact that there are enemy nations actively at war with us, but it's not like the Revolutionary War where they met on the battlefield and faced each other in lines and shot at each other. No, it's a much more sophisticated and complex form of war, and people can't see it. They can't recognize it because they can't think strategically. They can't think, oh, well, why would somebody want to do that? It's just this, it's just that, it's just this other. No, it's not just anything. It's like the difference between taking hydrochloric acid to eliminate something or taking Coca-Cola, put on something to erase it. It does it little bit by little bit. It does work, but it's a little at a time, not as quick. His character in that movie, yeah, Melinda, Jack Nicholson. Here's Johnny. But anyway, people today, they've been so spoiled and pampered that they don't realize that there's something at risk. So they can't see it. And then being told lies about it on top of that, and accepting those lies and parroting those lies, they can't see it. Ready, Rich? Jose.
Hey, everybody.
So, that more than anything is what we're fighting against is people that and like I mentioned in one video, is what you're trying to achieve doing good or just makes you feel good? Like the butterfly when it's in its cocoon. You see it struggling trying to get out of its cocoon. Well, you want to help it out. So you try to help break it open to set it free. Well, when you do that, it might make you feel good to have helped it, but you've just killed that butterfly because it had to have that struggle in order to gain the strength to fly. I think it was Lane told me that same way with chickens. If you help them out of their shell. That struggle is there to help them gain the strength they're going to need to do what they do. You know, a cow or something giving birth to a calf, you know, if you try to help that calf stand up, you've just deprived it of the struggle that will help it gain its strength to stand on its own. Yeah, you'd like to help, but the best thing you can do to help is just leave it alone. So is what you're doing good, or does it just make you feel good? You know, like all the environmentalists out there, you know, that they think they're helping this and that by keeping you from doing what's necessary to protect it. Then you wind up with things like LA, Palisades, what happened out there. But I don't think that was by accident. I'll just say that. I think there's a lot more nefarious things going on in the background on that. Now everybody's all the mainstream is really harping about getting that fixed out there, but they don't talk about North Carolina. Lane was telling me we like to listen to Eli Yoder on TikTok. He's a former Amish guy. But there are some Amish that do have phones that have contacted him and told him to get the message to Trump that they'll go anywhere they need him. He needs them to help out. Boy, I tell you what, I can see him doing that too. You send them boys out there, I'm gonna guarantee you there's going to be some work get done. No Dales today? What up with that? I'm sure he had something important come up. That's disappointing, though. But anyway, like I said, this nation has been so pampered and led the wrong way for so long that there's people out there who have no clue as to the evil that is out there. Yeah, I think that's going to change, Mama Bear. Okay, Trisha J. I usually just sit here and watch videos. I don't really get into the community pages much. Perhaps I should, but I don't. Y'all got to remember, I started this thing only because Brian Ware asked me to. And it's become what it's become.
Miss Brian. He was a good fella.
He was a great fella. But I had said, no, I didn't really want to do that. It means I'd have to do this and this and this and this. I really didn't want to get up. Elaine said, well, I can do all that. And I was like, my ship was sunk. Here I am.
And now Piggy does it.
All right, Mama Bear, go get food. Go nom on something. Derek? Okay, that's coming out of left field for me.
Dairy King or Dairy Queen.
Oh. I couldn't make out
a
what
long time.
I couldn't make out what that little symbol was. And keep in mind, folks, I've got this up on a 32-inch screen. So I've got a chat box that's probably 4 or 5 inches wide. I still can't make it out from here. I need me one of them 200-inch screens where I've got a chat box that's 20 inches wide, big print. That'd be great. So what else is new? Somebody tell me something.
The world is round, the oceans are blue, the sky is sometimes purple.
Well, now the Atlantic is blue, but the Pacific is green.
Yeah. And according to something I heard last night, said there's tribe over in Africa. They state that they'd never heard the word blue. They'd never heard of the word blue, so they tested them by showing them different shades of green and one shade of blue, and they could not differentiate the blue from the green because they did not know what blue was. And it's also in the Bible. The original Bible, written in Hebrew and Aramaic, Greek, does not have the word blue in it.
Huh.
It has green, but don't have blue. It has lapis and it has azul, but it didn't have blue.
Well, isn't blue the result of yellow and green?
Nope. Green is the result of blue and yellow. Blue is a primary color.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's what I thought was interesting, that you have your primary color. Nobody knows what, some never
well,
heard
it might not have been important to put in there. I mean,
Mom Bear said, "Bless you, sneezers."
Joe wants to know how to check how many watch hours he's got. Mama Bear told you correctly on her live YouTube studio.
Yeah, YouTube Studio, or you can go to. Probably have to do this on. This is on laptop, but yeah, YouTube Studio on your phone. If you're on a laptop, you can go to your page. It says custom manage videos is where you would go, and off the side it has dashboard and content, analytics, and all that. You would go to your analytics. On analytics, first thing pops up is your views, your watch time hours, and if you've had any subscribers and all that, add up or down. But yeah.
Got too many peppers in there, huh? Fazoli con pollo? All right, I know what con pollo is. I don't know what fazoli is. She made it in the crock pot, made her toes curl. She thinks she got too many peppers in it. Ain't no such thing. There's a lot of vitamin C in peppers. There's more vitamin C in peppers than there are oranges.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why it works real well to help get rid of colds and flu and all like that.
Pozole con pollo would be chicken and hominy. Pozole is hominy. Pollo is chicken. Piggy don't like. He likes corn, but he don't like hominy.
Well, I mean, you put the corn through a process with an acid to get rid of the skin off of it and make it puff up. And it's just, the texture of it's just Ew. Yeah, I don't like knowing that my food has been hit with acid unless it's the acid in my stomach. Yeah, that goes back to that pressing all the buttons to see what to do, Josie. Go on a journey of discovery. But what does that do? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, crap. Do I look at my watch time hours?
Yeah, you can look at your watch
I
time.
think he meant to say, how do I look?
Going through analytics, let me see on the phone here real quick. YouTube Studio. Are you on a laptop or a phone? If you're on a phone, you need to install YouTube Studio and get it synced up with your account. And then when you pull that up, it will automatically show you your watch time hours.
Week to week.
Day to day, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're on the laptop, you would go into analytics, and they've got so many different. I would just say click on everything in analytics to see what it shows you. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff.
Again, I say, go on a journey of discovery.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, that's what you have to do with all this stuff. Cheese-filled tortellinis for dinner. I got up real late, so I've had me 3 biscuits, 2 sausages, 1 butter and jelly. So I'm not really hungry right now for anything.
I ate beef stew, leftovers from yesterday.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I've not been up a full 4 hours yet. And here I am yawning. Slept for almost 12 again. I could have got up around 12 o'clock today, but I said, no, not doing it. I laid back down, filled out 12 hours sleeping. Felt good. I tried to lay back down and sleep some more, but couldn't do it. He said he's on phone.
Okay, on the phone, yeah, you would need YouTube Studio on the phone. Excuse me. Flying kitty.
I'm going to refrain from my thought.
Ooh, Melinda. I couldn't. No. I mean, I have done it. Don't get me wrong. It's hard. I need naps.
Yeah, I can't go that long.
I used to could. When Piggy and I first started dating, I would have to be at work at 5 in the morning. Go to work at 5, and I get off about 3 or 4. Then I'd spend the rest of the evening with Piggy till about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd head home, go to bed, get up at 5, or get up and go to work at 5. I did that for a while.
Yeah. We had fun when we first got together.
Now we're just old fogies.
Then we got old. She went through a rough surgery. I went through a rough surgery. She went through hers before we got married. Went through mine after we got married. Oh, Lord. Ours do that. We toss them out.
Hey, Arlene.
Arlene. I could put that to Dolly's song, Jolene, but it just wouldn't be the same. Tina, I think you got a kick out of us telling that story about that little Zoom went by us and the Popo got him.
Oh, that was fun, and it was a little bitty yellow looking car.
Well, it's even funnier for her because her job involves wearing a badge too.
Chasing a mouse that got in somehow. I feel sorry for any mouse that got in our house.
Yeah, we got 5 of them.
And I know one, if he's in here and he catches one, he'll eat it. The other 4, I'm not so sure about. They play with it.
The other 4 just like playing with them. When they stop moving, they're like, "You ain't no fun no more. What's up? What happened?"
I'm not a traffic cop though.
No, but I bet you've been there to receive what they bring you. Well, Joe, you just start doing videos, doing shorts, doing lives. Get on a consistent plan.
Yeah.
You know, Elaine, she has hers coming out Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and has a live on Saturday night. I have mine coming out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and have my live on Sunday. Get into a set pattern. That way, the algorithm will get in line with you and make things consistent. And people will know when you're putting a video out. You know, they can watch your video. Now, they might not watch it when it first comes out. You know, they may be working, they may be doing something, they may be sleeping, whatever they're doing, but it will be out at that time for folks to see. And mine, I've started putting them out at 8 in the morning because that seems to do better than 2:30 p.m.
I'll tell you.
Watch hours are how many hours people have watched you.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. Yeah, my mind was totally blank.
Yeah, Melinda's right. Lives do give a lot of watch hours, especially the more people you get into your lives, the more your watch hours go up because each person represents watch time.
My actual best video overall is not even a cooking video. It is a review video.
Yep.
It is for the cooktop that I used to have, the double burner induction cooktop.
Yep. Now you do real good with your shorts because you show having fun out there, sliding around in the snow and riding snowmobiles on the grass and trying to burn them up and things with the heavy equipment that you use. I mean, you got a ton of content. You just don't realize. And you could be doing a live while you're doing a job, especially if that job is heavy equipment work. Yeah, you'd be sitting there doing what you got to do and talking to folks. You might not be able to pay attention to your chat. And that's forgivable. And now, like me, if I'm sitting here I've got a lane to catch stuff that I don't catch, so that's what saves me. Uh, but somebody just sitting there and can pay attention to the chat. If they're not paying attention to the chat, that's going to hurt them because they're not being interactive with the chat. But if you're doing heavy equipment, you can be sitting there talking to folks. If every once in a while you catch a comment, great. If not, that's just fine too. But being into what you're into, you've got tons of content that you could be putting out there. Set you up the camera on a tripod or something that ain't going to fall and everything. But just film it all, film the whole thing. Maybe have you a different camera where you can do things kind of closer up, and get a different angle on something. And then when you edit, you put these different things together. You can have it far out, and then you put something in from close up to pinpoint what you're talking about on something. And that's another thing to a great video is the editing. If you put it together right and put the right kind of music with it, whether you pay for that music or you get the free stuff, if you can afford to pay for the music that you get, that would be your best bet.
Thank you, Tracy.
And everything. And then put all that together. And the way I see you having fun out there, I have no doubt you could edit together a great video.
Thank you.
And everything. Yeah. Like I said, you got all sorts of stuff. You when you're in the heavy equipment, you're doing other things. You could be going live. For when you're far away from the camera, invest in you a good microphone that's going to get a lot of distance. That way, you could be 100, 600 yards away, depending on the mic you get. You can be 100 to 600 yards away from the camera, but they'd be able to hear you just fine. And that way, folks would see everything you're doing while you're talking. Well, it's like Journey of Discovery yet again, Joe. You got to find you a good editing software and start playing with the buttons and see what you can do with it. You got that right, Ratty Ridge. It's like Jason has taught. You could have something you think is great and it tank. Then you have something you think is going to tank and it might go viral. Yeah, a microphone is, one you can clip to your shirt or on your hat. When I'm talking to y'all in the car, I've got my microphone clipped right up here on my hat. Now, I've not been using it lately because it don't like to last long battery-wise. I got to get it out and charge it up. But, you can tell the difference when I'm using it and when I'm not. But there are microphones out there I would love to have, but they just cost too much for me on a fixed income. There's some of y'all out there making decent enough money, you can get some of those good microphones where, like I said, Off the Hook, he bought him one. Very costly, but he'd walk like 600 yards away and you could hear him like he was right next to the phone. So the better mic you got, the better you'll do with that. Better camera you got, the better you do with that. And I know I've seen them on Amazon and other places. They've got camcorders that, are banging, but they got some that are specifically for doing YouTube videos. and I think they cost like $150 to $200. So if you can afford to get one of those, and you can get mics and stuff to go with them on the camera itself. Oh yeah, that tool video. Well, duh, Tina. Men and women alike love power tools. Well, that comes with time and making yourself get used to stuff. You know, the more you do it and the more you get used to doing it, the more it'll become second nature to do it. It's like anything else, Like riding a bike, you got to skin some knees and elbows a few times before you finally learn how to keep that thing upright. Here's the thing. You can take, making a movie, you can take and have the greatest script that ever was. But if you've got lousy actors, it ain't going nowhere. On the flip side, you can have the best actors there ever were and have a lousy script. It ain't going nowhere. I've seen actors I actually like in movies that I couldn't believe they agreed to make. Because they were just trash. And I thought, man, that is so beneath that actor or actress. I guess they like everybody else, and they get desperate for more money. They do whatever it takes. They kind of do the $20 is $20. Hey, $20, man. But on that one, Tina, you got to remember, you're at a huge store of power tools. And it's of a brand that I've only come to learn about in the last 2 or 3 years. And I got to knowing about them because of a YouTuber named Darvin Orver. You talk about good at crafts. That woman can do everything from woodwork to electronics. And oftentimes combining the two. You talk about smart. Lord have mercy. She got more gray matter in her pinky now than I got in my whole body. Well, Tina, nothing says you have to go there to buy. You can just go there and look around and talk about it. Unless it's a distance issue, and I understand that. But, you could go to a local hardware store. Show off different power tools. Show off different items, lighting. Different types of lighting, what you might like, might not like. Okay, so distance is an issue. I get that. But again, like I said, you can go to local hardware stores and talk about, go to sections of stuff that you like and are into and everything, and talk about what you like on this and what you might do with that and all like that. It's power tools. Think about it. You're in a homesteading community doing woodwork and homesteading stuff. A lot of your crowd, they're going to be very interested in those power tools. Go to a local tractor place and look at all the tractors. talk about them, what you might could use, what you might not, what ideas on this, ideas on that. You know, if you've got the means to get out and go and the energy, we don't. That's why we don't. Uh, Kind of hard to do in Lowe's too because they got music playing in the background. Sometimes it's so loud you can't hear each other talk. But go to places like that. Uh, Go to local greenhouses. Show off what they got and what you might like to do with some of the stuff there. You know, it's homesteading. Showing off what you got locally. Different things that can help facilitate a homesteader. Uh, Go to a local heavy equipment place. Sit there and talk and dream about some of the stuff there you'd like to be able to have. Window shopping. You know, you not only help yourself out to get ideas of something to strive for, but you also give others ideas on what they might could do with what, because they might have a project, they're not sure how to do it or what to do it with, and you may be showing them stuff that they can do it with. And some of those places have rentals where you can rent that equipment and put that out there. And they might also have lists of places in other people's areas that do the same thing. And they might have a store in that other area and they do the same thing. You know, so they'd be able to go to that place in their local area and rent a piece of equipment that you've shown that can do this or that they happen to need and didn't know it. And they go to that place and rent it. Yeah, that stuff gets costly. But it's either, do I pay the expense of renting it for a day or two, get the job done, or do I pay almost 10 times the amount to have somebody that's got one to come out and do it? So things along those lines, Tina. Get out and do them. Josie, you could do the same thing. I mean, you're into heavy equipment. I mean, I don't know if you own or rent that equipment. I think you own it. But, you know, you could do tutorial videos on how to use that particular piece of equipment. You could do tutorial videos on how to maintain it. You know, I mean, one of my best videos was showing where I replaced the plugs and coil pack on my little cruise. I had one guy tell me, I don't like anything. It's piss poor design. To which I responded to him, I said, it may be. But I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know. And I know it gets great gas mileage for me, and I like it. Why, Joe? I mean, if you want to make a go of it, you got to learn stuff. And you're going to have to learn stuff about it. You're going to have to learn the editing, and you're going to have to learn the YouTube studio, and all like that. It's going to take some learning. That's what Elaine has had to do. That's what Johnny has had to do. Dale, everybody that gets into YouTube, that's what they have to do. They have to learn what it's all about. You know, like StreamYard here, you know, you got to punch all the buttons and see what does what. Oh, you telling the truth right there, Josie. And here's the thing about it. it may or may not ever pay off. But if nothing else, you've got a record of what you've done in your life. Kids and grandkids can see what it was like for you in those times. It's something you can leave to them. So if nothing else, you're creating a diary for your kids and grandkids and great grandkids to get to know who you were. So in that sense, you can't lose. You might not. My channel, I know it'll never get much bigger than what it is. If it does, I'll be shocked. Because I'm kind of brass tacks, especially when I get to talking about God and my faith. I don't think they'll do that, Joe. There's going to be a lot of things changing. But YouTube is kind of a big thing, and it makes a lot of people a lot of money, and they're not just going to arbitrarily take it off, especially now that we've got a different writer controlling the ranks. So it's also a form of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. So, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, here's the thing about TikTok. Actually, there's a couple of guys from Singapore that own 20%. 60% are American investors. And then there's another so many percent of others, but they're not Chinese. You got more to worry about from Temu on that note than you do TikTok. And just going to tell you, some years ago, Microsoft put a back door in for all the alphabet agencies to be able to get right into your computer. They don't have to go through nothing. They just walk right in. They got called out on it, and they say they took that out. I call BS. I think they say they took it out, but I don't think they did. Which also meant that big corporations, it's one of the reasons why they know exactly what you're talking about and can put ads right there. Elaine and I have been outside, no electronics on us, talking about stuff. We come in, and the first thing that'll pop up when we put our computers up would be ads on the things we discussed. So it's like this. They got folks out there, they can climb into your computer, whether you got protection or not, and you'll never know they was there. So you ain't got to worry about who's listening in. Just go under the assumption anybody is listening in. I mean, you got signals going through Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And all they got to do is tune in on the signal. That's it. That's all they got to do. It's no more difficult than that. They got your IP address. They get in on your signal. And they know everything. So go under the assumption everybody's listening anyhow. I mean, this TV that I'm using as a monitor. There's a time when I was using it as a TV, I'd get done for not going to go to bed. I'd turn it off. I'd come back in. I'd see the light was on it. It was back on. I was like, I know I turned that off, so I'd turn it off again. Turn around and it'd be back on again. There was somebody listening and watching whatever I was doing. So One night I said, okay, you really want to watch? I dropped my drawers and shook it at them. That thing went off that quick. Went through a few times of that, they stopped. Like, oh God, I don't want to see that old man stuff. Well, take me to court. We'll see who'll be crying then. Because to take me to court, you'd have to be admitted to illegally spying on me. And then I'm going to be rich. Because for that, you're going to pay me. So go ahead and take me to court for illegally looking in on me through my TV, for me shaking my junk at you. Old, gray, and shriveled up as it may be. So they ain't going to take you to court. But like I said, about 3 or 4 times of doing that, they quit. They started leaving my TV alone. I mean, just imagine if you had the ability to get in on my stuff and use my camera to look around what I might be doing, and I turn around to it and see that it's on, and I drop my drawers and shake my little twinkly at you. I'm pretty sure you might almost go to the toilet and vomit. So no, don't quit. Don't delete it. Keep going. I mean, you've got the ability. You've got the time. You can do stuff while you're doing stuff. And if nothing else, if it don't pop and become a thing, at the very least, you've got a diary for your kids and grandkids and great grandkids to get to know who you was. All right, do that. In the fishing community, there's guys that go live for 2, 3, 4, 10 hours at a time. And they get a good following. Because for anywhere from up to 2 to 12 hours, there's somebody out there fishing. It is not so much the fishing. I don't get into fishing. I don't fish. But I like the personalities. And Josie, you've got among one of the best personalities out there. The way you get out there and slide around in snow and other things you do. You could be topping trees. And you could have a camera hooked up and showing what you're doing and showing the height and the scenery and the view and everything from those heights you get up into. There's people out there who would absolutely love that. Right? I know I ain't got much choice, Tina. Due to my disability, I can walk, but I can't get up and walk for that long. So I mostly sit. If I ain't spending 12 hours in the bed. But there's so many things you could do too, Tina. Like I said, local hardware stores, heavy equipment places, tractor places, lawnmower places, which usually have tractors too. But you can be showing off everything they have to offer in your local area and be telling folks, whether or not they got stores in what other areas that there may be. And talking about, each time you be talking about a couple of different pieces of equipment at a time. And you can spend a day there going over that and then just split it up to a couple of pieces per video, unless there's one of special interest, and you can spend that whole particular video on that piece of equipment, and then go on to other stuff and make different videos out of each set, and you do it in one day. Well, if you have to go slightly outside your area, I don't know what all you got and how close it is or how far it is or anything like that, but just trying to put you onto something there that, and then like I said, you could be spending a whole day there if you've got the whole day, and you can make several different videos, or you can do it all at one time and then edit them out to just certain ones. Maybe add an ending to each one and put that together with it in editing. That way you can get a lot of videos in one day, then edit them some and do what you got to do and everything. And you could have videos for days.
Texas, all that big thing in their local area is Walmart.
Yeah, she said the Walmart home office is only about 30 minutes south of them. I feel so sorry for you.
I do. I don't shop there. I thank God I have the option not to shop there.
Right. And we know there's a lot of folks out there that ain't got the option. I think that should change. There needs to be competition. Because that makes Walmart essentially a monopoly in those areas. And that's not how this is supposed to work. Maybe with the changes that are coming, maybe some folks can start up and actually compete. And maybe even encourage folks who have certain talents on different skills to get into making a side job, providing those things, and build it up into a business. We'll be sending more land buyers our way. Well, that could be a good thing, especially if they're ones that want to start up a business and compete against Walmart. Give people options. Wow. No wonder it costs so much to go to Walmart. They're spending more on office people than they are making sure their prices are actually competitively low. That's another reason why we don't go there. We can't afford Walmart. It costs too much. We'll go to Food Line, but Food Line, while it's not a really big store like Publix, they got prices that can compete with Publix.
Depending on what you buy.
Yeah, depending on what you buy. And they've also limited the brands that you can get. So they're taking away a lot of choices. I don't think that's right. To build executive housing. Yeah, they spending too much on office workers and not enough on making sure their prices are low. And they got their priorities wrong. Used to be in the woods, northwest Arkansas. Is moving over into Missouri. So y'all are in Missouri, or do I need to flip that around? But anyway, y'all and Josie, y'all got plenty of stuff for content. Oh no, when Sam died, it went to pot. His kids took over, they totally screwed it up. They're of that particular mindset, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So y'all close enough to call yourselves Arkansans if you wanted to. Just like I'm not but 3 miles from the Tennessee line. I sometimes joke around and tell folks, well, I'm actually from Tennessee. I said, but it's inside the Georgia line. We're so close. And sometimes I'd rather be Tennessee than Georgia because Georgia sucks. How can you tell? Florida is still attached. That's the joke, anyway.
So she's in Tennessee.
Whereabouts? North, south, east, west. There's more east and west than there is north and south of Tennessee. Way west. Okay, we talking like Memphis or someplace like that? Somewhere around there?
Well, if you're going way west, south be Memphis, north be Clarksville, in that area. Southwest Tennessee.
Memphis.
Memphis area, yeah.
Somewhere around the Memphis area.
Directly between Nashville and Memphis. Draw a line. I start to say somewhere near Hohenwald, whatever it's called. Hohenwald.
In other words, she ain't telling us.
I don't blame her. I know enough little towns in Tennessee. I know Ripley, Lois, Lynchburg, Tullahoma. Trying to think of all them little towns used to go to. Ardmore. That's all kind of.
She said yes. Whether she was saying yes to what I said or one of the ones you were listing off,
about 45
I don't
minutes.
know.
We're about 45 minutes from home and home off. Okay.
Okay. It's not that important.
No.
I'm giving you a hard time. Yeah, Tina and Josie, y'all just don't realize the amount of content you have at your disposal. It would be easy to get. You know, y'all got y'all's homestead and stuff, and that tractor, there'd be maintenance on that tractor, fixing it up. It'd be the tools you have in your wood shop.
Excuse me.
You go through and talk about that. For ideas on that, look up Stumpy Nubs. He is a world-class master craftsman. And I love watching him. He's big on safety. Saved my life. But look him up. Another one you could look up to possibly get ideas is a Sawyer Nathan from Out of the Woods. He's got him a Wood Miser 70. Uh, he's got him some other stuff to make his boards more finished. Oh yeah, I love Stumpy. I love his sense of humor. You remember that one he did with that little uh, saw disc on a grinder, chainsaw disc? How he got hurt with that. That's how he saved my life. I wanted one of them little discs so bad I couldn't stand it. And he showed that video where he got hurt with it, and I'm like, no, I don't need that. That'd be just, I'd be committing suicide if I got one of them little tools. And yeah, Nathan's great. I love his sense of humor too. And yeah, so y'all can be getting ideas from that on how to show off particular things, particular tools, what all you do with them and how you use them and how they can be used. You know, there's some folks out there just want to know, don't know that they need to know. Yes, they do. And it pays off. If the farm, y'all got a farm up for sale? Am I to assume that's not the property you are currently on? Yeah, those mics, Joe, they can make a huge difference in what you can and can't do. It allows you to set your camera someplace, still be able to talk on it while you're too far away from it for the phone or camera mic to pick up. Flash Ministries, how you doing?
Hi, Karen.
I don't know how long I'll be on here. I was told Dale ain't going to be going live tonight, so I may rock on for a little bit. I don't know. So normally I'd be telling you coming in as I'm going off, or might already be off. But nonetheless, welcome in. Yeah, Joe, those mics make a big difference. Yeah, it's amazing the difference they can make. Not just in sound quality, but in what you're able to accomplish on a video. Tim at Ridge Life, he'll use them. And, Nathan at Out of the Woods, he freaks me out sometimes because he'll be in his tractor doing something, and you hear him on the video, and the camera's way off somewhere. And it takes me a minute to remember, oh yeah, he's got a mic. Johnny the same way sometimes on his. I don't suppose I have to tell y'all at Young Farms. So yeah, y'all have got tons of content y'all could be doing. Again, your tractor, you could be showing doing maintenance on it, doing improvements on it, learning about it and teaching others about it. Your power tools, your hand tools. Being in the woodworking, Tina, I imagine you already know what I'm going to say on this. Something I would love to have to sharpen tools, that would be one of those Tormex that Stumpy has shown. Oh man, talk about drool. Cost
He
you about
likes going to the toy store, y'all.
you talk about it cost about $800 for a pretty decent setup. But for all it can sharpen and how well it can sharpen it, it's worth the money if you can afford to get one. They make smaller versions of it. It has less to go with it. Don't cost quite as much, but they still pretty costly. So, it's doing content for YouTube. You really want to. You got to look at the details. Look at all the details of everything you do, and see how you could make a thing on each detail, and you've got content. How you sharpen your tools, how you maintain your tools, what those particular tools could be used for the right way. I can't see that scar anymore, but oh, there it is down here. I got a scar right here. I keep my chisels scary sharp. Went down to the bone. Working on a piece of wood? No, I've been stupid. I had a problem with the zipper. I was trying to work on the zipper with it. Slip, boom. Oh, it only touched it. Went down to the bones. Squeezed it off with a Band-Aid for about 3 days and it healed up. So teaching safety is a good thing. Well, at least you got a shop. I got a carport that's filled up. And I have one of those picnic-like tables with the legs that fold down. It's got a piece of plywood across the top of it. I didn't have nothing in the carport. I had it out there, and I have it down, and I do a little woodwork here and there doing things on that. At least you got a shop. No. Make me so jelly. Not that it would do me much good. I ain't got the energy or the strength to do a whole lot. That was another reason I got into watching YouTube. I could kind of live vicariously through others. Then I started encouraging folks. I've got some big names out there that I've helped encourage to get where they've got. Treasure hunting with Jeeves, Stumpy. We all do what, Teresa? Of what, Joe? The heavy equipment? Tools? Maintenance? What? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's about all I can do. that and encourage others to go for their goals. That's what it's all about, Tana. I can't do much, but I can encourage others and I can give ideas. My success is watching others succeed and seeing the enjoyment they get out of the successes they have along the way. That's my success. If I've done something to encourage somebody to keep going or give them an idea that helps them further their YouTube channel, or maybe made them smile or fall out the chair laughing, my job's done. Well, what exactly is your content, Joe? You're about landscape and tree service. Well, part of that service is that heavy equipment. Part of that heavy equipment is maintaining it. It's part of it. They're showing people, behind the scenes. You got to do this to be able to do that. It's part of it. Is it involved in your landscaping and tree service? If yes, well, that's part of your content. This is how you're able to do what you do. If a mechanic took and fixed a car, talking about being a mechanic, well, I did this and this and this and this and this and this and this is how it was done, and boom, there it is, finished. Boom. Well, what did you use to get there? How do you use it to get there? What's involved? What kind of tools do I need? I got to do this particular type of job on something. What do I need? And making it where people can see exactly what it is you're doing. Making sure they can hear you good. That's part of it. I mean, and there'll be tool manufacturers out there. They say you start doing tool reviews on stuff. You get to a certain number on subs. Somebody happens to notice that you do tool reviews. They might send you something and say, hey, check this out and let us know what you think. Because you're in that business. And you take the time to explain a tool and how it is used and what it takes to maintain that tool in order to help you facilitate getting a particular type of job done. So it is definitely part of your content. But you never know, there might be somebody looking at getting into landscaping and tree service. They'd be very keen to know a lot of things that you already know to help them get started. You could do that too. You could talk about how you got started and how you built up. I wanted to get into that flash, but didn't work out for me. Making furniture. Just don't have all the tools I need and the ability to keep them sharp the way I'd like to. And don't have the space to really to do anything. I've got a basement, but it's a wet basement, and it's wetter now than it used to be because half done, half wet done what he done, and he can't figure out why it's worse now than what it was. Cause he's an idiot. But yeah, Joe, that'd be part of your content. And Dana, I'm glad I was able to give you some ideas on things to do. One of the main things to remember too on YouTube is enjoy what you do. Randy Ridge, there are apps on your phone. All you got to do is plug in the numbers, and it will give you things you need to know. There are apps on the phone for doing construction work. But I've got a highboy I fixed up. I beefed it up while I was fixing it up. I took it down to bare bones, took every piece apart, and put it back together and made it better. It's pretty now. Shaving 8. All right, Abbott, you got to explain that one to me. Yeah, you can do an intro video. I don't know if you watch him, but the Crockers, Jason, he's got a little bit different intro in his now, and he talks about how he just started out this, wanted to do that, and all like that. And he says, "I'm just a guy who, you know." Well, I figured that out of it. I didn't know, but I didn't know what it was from. But he does that. You also do an introduction on your about page. Talk about who you are, what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, all that stuff. You know, you can make it short and sweet, or you can make it pretty good paragraph. You know, if you want people to know you. Yeah, I tell you, you've got a really great thing with all that. I mean, you can make trays, you can make other simple stuff like that. You can make a ton because it's your own expression of how to do things. It's unique. That's what makes you doing what you do special. It's unique. It's your expression. It's your sight, what you see, you know, what you bring out of that wood, what you see in that piece of wood when you go to work on it and put it together. So therefore, unique. It might be the same in that it is a tray of some sort, or a cup of some sort, or whatever it may be. What makes it unique is it is an expression of you. You can make all sorts of those. everything. Like that one acrylic you did, it was backwards, but you turn it around, it made sense. Even though it was an accident, it was an oopsie, it still came out looking good because it made sense. You know, sometimes the best things come out of an accident. So that's you. That's your expression. That's what you envision being made manifest right in front of people's eyes. That's what makes it special. That's what makes it where you can charge whatever it is you charge for your product. You know, people want it bad enough, they'll pay you. You know, because that's your work. Young fella that did my happy guinea pig for Arlene's channel, he wasn't going to charge us but $100. Yeah, $100. Well, there's 10 hours of work just in doing the rough draft. And mine's a simple one compared to some of the ones he's done. He's a young man. He loved doing art. And I just love doing the art. And I said, I taught him. I said, that may be. But you got to be paid what you're worth. Now, 10 hours just to do a rough draft, $100, that's $10 an hour. But then he's got to do all the stuff he does with it on the computer to make it come out what needs to come out. I told him, I said, you're wasting your time. I was his first $250 check for my happy guinea pig. Because we told him we thought it was going to be at least $500 or more. He's like, $500? I said, yeah, son. I said, you do good work. His moniker is Baby Jeebus. He's treasure hunting with Jeebus's younger brother. And I taught him his worth. And as far as I know, he took and run with it. He figured out there's people who know what his worth is. He's had other channels before that time, take advantage of that $100. And I'm talking about some very detailed artwork. That was a lot harder than what mine was. A lot harder. I taught him his worth. Well, Tana, this little thing called life, it happens. And then we got to deal with it. You do what you can as you can, but you work towards getting better at getting things out at a specific time and get on a regular schedule with it. It'll help you out a lot. But that's what I was going to say a while ago, some of the things about YouTube. One, enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy it, people will see that in the video. They're not going to be inclined to watch somebody who's not enjoying what they do themselves. I don't think Joe C's going to have a problem with that. He's having fun all the time. But if you're not enjoying what you do, that will translate through the video. But if you do enjoy it, that will also translate, and that's more appealing to people. Have fun with it. Mistake happened. Well, that happened. See what God do to fix it. Positive attitude. Positive attitude. If there's any negativity, that'll translate more than 95% positive, 5% negative. That 5% negative is going to show up more than that 95% positive. So you got to make everything positive. because that'll translate and show people you enjoy what you do, whether you make a mistake or not. You know, just part of it. You know, another thing, love your haters. They try to come at you. Well, thank you. Because there's going to be plenty of haters. Joke's on them, though, because they're helping you out because of interaction. They're commenting. They comment on your video being hateful. They've just helped with your interaction. It don't matter if it's good or bad interaction. They've helped you with your interaction. Joke's on them. So love you haters. So there's more. I just can't think of it right now. But the biggest things are stay positive, enjoy what you do. Mama Linda! And you're absolutely right. You got to know when you got to beat them suckers. Oh, thanks, Avid. Means I can cut out soon. Oh, Joe, I know you do. There ain't no hiding your enjoyment. In that car sliding around in the snow and on that snowmobile grinding it out on the grass and everything. I'm sitting here laughing. But that dude's nuts. Then you showed getting up in that thing to top a tree, and I'm like, oh yeah, that dude's definitely nuts. That's why I said I don't think you'll have any trouble translating enjoyment in what you do. All right, Tina, you have a great one. I think I'm going to do the same thing, cut out and run around a minute and everything, let Abbott get ready for what he's going to do and all like that. And I've yacked enough and go get me, freshen up my water and everything. But y'all continue on. Have a good time. Enjoy it. Piggy loves you.